Welcome to Late Night Sessions. This is the new year, new us, new Ryan, Blake, Shane, and Tanner.
It's good to be back.
First recording of the new year, landing conveniently on episode 20. It's nice. It's all rounding out to nice even numbers. I like it.
No, we planned it. We should say we planned it.
Yeah. We've been planning this for years.
Yeah. for years.
Yeah, this is very far in
We
advance.
only had the idea like 6 months ago. But yeah,
this episode was recorded in like 2004. But you know.
when we're all 1 year old.
Yeah, it's just very, very pre-recorded. We're actually like 40 right now, and we've just made lots of these so that we never have to work. We're retired right now.
I don't see how we're making any money off these though.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't plan that well.
Yeah.
Let's.
Thought this would be going better.
Yeah. It was good on paper. We had like a whiteboard and everything is.
We had a chalkboard, not a whiteboard.
Yeah, chalkboard. We had a chisel and a hammer, and we carved it into stone.
I was gonna say this is the 90s, but we can go back further. Yeah.
we're actually around the campfire right now in the cave, which is.
I don't want to be in the.
Yeah, because there's no hentai in
and
Stone
no
Age.
hentai. That's a good point. There's no anime.
There wasn't a lot in the caveman times. Like, I don't know,
electricity,
recording software.
Sucks. How are we supposed to do the podcast?
Yeah, this podcast is just engravings on the wall of the cave that our ancestors will later take and translate into a video and upload that to YouTube.
So we are the ancestors.
We have planned this very far ahead. Yes, we are. Our ancestors planned this very, very well. Like hundreds of years ago.
Okay.
I'm surprised our bloodlines haven't died off yet.
Yeah, me too. You know, they've done a good job. I mean, they could have made us a little more popular in the plan, but you can't have everything.
Went through all of the shit that they went through just to have 4 retards born.
yeah. You know, you can't.
That's sad.
You can't have everything. You win some, you lose some. You know.
Oh, they put like 50K on black and it landed on red.
Oh yeah,
that's what happened.
And you know, 50K in caveman times was like a lot of money.
Yeah, that's like 3 big rocks.
That's like 3.
Am I wrong?
It's like 3 moose. Like, that's a lot of dinner.
That's like a club. Can we think of anything else that's caveman?
Fire.
It's like fire.
Yeah. What about like a comb? They could really need one of those.
A comb. I mean,
yeah, you know, like they didn't have many grooming products, and they really could have used them.
Well, if we're going the hygienic route, we could like deodorant, running water, a shower,
a toothbrush,
toothpaste, toothpaste without the toothbrush.
Yeah, you just use a stick. You just use a stick, and you just right in there.
A stick with a little bit of fuzz or fur.
you just
that should do it.
You just glue grass around a stick, and that's it.
So each week after the grass is like fully dead, you just gotta get a new one.
Yeah, you just make a new one. It keeps you busy. It's like arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts. Do you remember arts and crafts? That was fun.
Like in elementary school, like arts and crafts still exist. Like they didn't die; they still exist now.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much dead.
I hated art in elementary school. I didn't like it.
See, we had Mr. Moon. Remember, we had Mr. Moon.
Dude, I remember him like barely. Dude, I still have like some of the shit I made back then, like the clay and stuff.
Yeah,
I still have it.
He didn't like me. I remember. I remember one time. Was it with you? It was like you were like about to take your shirt off, like you were halfway done, and then I was doing the same thing, and then he yelled at us. Was that not you?
I don't that sounds like something I would definitely do, but it was a long time ago and I don't remember. It was all a blur, really.
I remember him specifically yelling at me. Not you, just me. Even though I
I
was following your
remember.
lead.
I remember in kindergarten, there was like a calendar that went around the room, and it had like the days of the month, and some of the days, like it had numbers on all the days, and some of them had stars, and I don't remember why some of
Might have
them
been,
had stars, but those
might
were
have been
called
the birthday.
star days. And on the
Oh.
playground, there was two different like play sets, and
Yeah.
and
The
we would.
really old one and then the brand new one.
Yeah, there was an old one and a new one, and they were like separate, and they were on different sides. And every day, all the kids would play a game where all the boys would go on one playset and all the girls would go on one
Yeah.
playset. And the girls always went on the shitty playset, and the
And
boys
we got the
always
good
went
one.
on the newer playset. And I don't
Uh-uh.
remember what the game was. It just like tag or something? I don't know what the game was, but we would battle,
Game
and
of
it was
cooties.
boys versus girls. But since I had a girlfriend, I got to be on the girls' team. And on
Yeah, and you were like the kid that like everyone hated because you were so cool because you were hanging out with
yeah,
girls in
yeah, I had a
kindergarten.
girlfriend, so I would go on the girls' team and on their playset. And on star days, we would switch, so the girls' team would get the good playset and the boys' team would get the shitty playset. And I don't know why, like how just a bunch of kindergarten kids organized this whole thing all on their own. It was weird.
Bro, we were smart.
Yeah, like this wasn't a
Look how
game that a
far we've
teacher
fallen.
invented.
Oh man, did I have I told the story about that kid falling off the wall? You
I
remember? You don't remember it, but you remember me saying it, right?
I don't fucking know, dude. I was a
So
sad fucking kid.
you still are a sad kid, just
Yeah, but I
slightly
was
more
even
angry.
worse. Like in preschool before kindergarten, my mom would drop me off at preschool, and there was this like calendar on one of the like bookshelves on the side of the room, and it had for every day they would put a sticker on the day, and so like you know what day it was wherever the last sticker was. And
Yeah.
when I hated preschool so much, I don't know why, but my entire life I've hated school so much. When my mom would drop me off and she'd leave, and I'd go in and cry and count the stickers on the calendar.
That's your coping mechanism.
It was
1,
so weird. It was
2.
so sad, bro. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I just hated everything, and I still do.
Yeah, you haven't changed much.
Yeah, it's weird. I still cry myself to sleep. It's the same, really. It's not really much different.
But so I feel like you're gonna remember when I tell this story. But in kindergarten, we had we had a brick wall, right, just surrounding the playset. You remember, right?
I do,
And it
vaguely,
was
I do.
elevated. It was elevated where like it was tall enough that we couldn't really climb over it, but we could, and we could like just jump on it and walk around. So like that was like the cool thing, like walking on the wall, right?
Yeah.
And at one point on the wall, which was the longest section of the wall, there would be this drop off into the shrubbery, and a little far away was like a little driveway back to the baseball fields. But between it was the shrubbery, some bushes, right? So I remember one day we were just walking across the wall, and then all of a sudden you just start hearing screaming, and a recess aide just starts running to the wall. And we all run over, and we just see this fucking kid in the bush. He fell in the shrubbery and crying. Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
That
Yeah, you have like it's weird listening to you describe the school because I left in second grade and moved, and you were there till fifth grade when like you
no, no,
moved
no,
to
no,
a
no.
new
I was
school.
there till fourth grade. I moved
Oh
to
yeah,
fifth
till
grade.
fourth grade. You were there like
Yeah.
longer and older, so your memory's better. I still remember my bus, like because every day we'd be in class, and when the school day was over, the principal would come on the intercom, and when the bus arrived at the school parking lot, he would call the bus number, and if
I
that
don't
was your
even remember
bus,
that.
you would leave the class and go get on your bus and go to your house. And every day it was bus 90. My bus was bus 90, but he was like a really old guy, and he was like 90. Like he was like 90. Like it was weird how he said 90. It was weird, and I always thought
I
like I didn't like it. But there's
I
nothing I
had
can do.
I had like two buses. The bus I remember was bus 37, and that guy was racist. Like straight up. I remember. I feel like I've told this story before too. But if I have, I'm sorry. But how do I start this off? Okay, so me and a group of kids are waiting for the bus in the morning, right? And I was talking to this kid, Should I say he was black? He was black. And we were just talking, and he had a PSP, which is like, a little personal,
when those
like
were a
one of
thing.
those. And I had one too, and I was like, oh, that's super cool. And I remember like just being a dumbass and just start like doing like karate moves and start kicking. So I accidentally kick his PSP out of his hand, flies up in the air, and then just smacks onto the concrete. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm on the brink of tears. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And it was completely fine, right? And I just so happen to have my PSP on. The bus drives, by, and we get on, and he sits behind me, and he's like over the seat, looking down at me. I'm like, how do I make this? How do I make you feel better? Do you have this thing? And I'm just pointing to the SIM card. I don't know what it does. I just thought it was cool, right? And then out of nowhere,
Oh my God.
the bus driver was like, "Boy, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "What?" And I look up, and then he makes me come to the front. He was like, "Sit down. You're not supposed to be leaning over seats." I'm like, what the fuck what did I do? What did I do? So what happened was I was just sitting down, as I said, looking down at my PSP playing a game, right? And the kid behind me was actually hungover looking at what I was playing, right? So what I've concluded was the bus driver is a fucking dumbass, and he saw the back of he saw the top of my head and thought I was looking behind me. So he's like, he's Asian. That's a no-go. Get to the front. And he made me sit at the front of the bus with the kindergartners for 2 weeks.
My bus driver was super nice, and she lived in the same neighborhood as me.
Yeah, Barnes. I remember.
Yeah,
I rode that bus
dude,
too.
that's crazy. I didn't even remember her name till you just said it. That's crazy, dude. I remember on
she lived
Halloween.
across the street from me, and I specifically remember like, where's her bus? Like, it's not in her driveway. Where is her bus?
Dude, my dad drove buses for a while, and that was when I learned that like seats like come up and there's like compartments under there for storage and stuff. That was crazy, dude.
Bro, I'm telling you, we need to get Wayne on the podcast. Please make it happen.
He doesn't understand how podcasts work.
I don't give a shit. He needs to be on here. Wayne is so cool. Wayne is Ryan's dad. Oh, he's so cool.
He used to like come to my school in elementary school. I would have like both my parents would come to my school sometimes, which is kind of weird, but I didn't think it was weird. I thought it was not because it was happening to me.
Because our parents were allowed to bring, or they were allowed to come during lunch to see us and sit with us. And it was like, you were like the coolest kid on campus when that happened.
Yeah.
I remember my dad, he would come in every so often and he'd just bring me like Subway and shit. But then the principal caught him bringing me Subway, and the principal's like, no, you can't do that. That's going to make the other kids jealous. I was like, I don't get no more Subway.
I remember even after that, when I moved and I went to like my newer elementary school in Mesquite, my mom would come to my class and help out my teacher, and my mom would give the class our spelling test. It was super weird. Like,
did you always get A's?
No, she just like said the words. Like, she would walk around and read the words out loud to the class, and we'd have to like spell them. And now that I think about it, it's way weirder now than I thought it was back then. That like my mom just came and was like my other teacher. It was weird.
See, nowadays with all the school shooting stuff, like, I think it's very rare that we have like our parents or guests come in.
Well, now we're in high school, and if a parent comes to your school, it means you're a bad kid and your parent has to watch you.
Or you're a bad kid and your parent is going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Should I say that? Yeah, that's all right.
I mean, it's probably happened.
True.
Maybe,
True. It's true.
Being a kid is weird, and it's like thinking back how it's all was just like a blur, and the older you get, your memory just like kind of grows,
develops.
And you can remember things clearer. But if the farther you look back, the more of a blur it was. It was weird.
See, being a little kid is great because you don't know what or how anything works, right?
Yeah.
Now that you get older, like, you know how stuff works, and like you don't want to be here.
I
When you're a
remember.
kid, it's just all great and fun.
I remember very vaguely a long time ago, before I was even in preschool. I remember
When you were
being in
in
the
the
back
womb.
seat. No. Remember being in the back seat of the car in my little booster seat that I always had the same booster seat for like ever. I like remember it. I was in the back seat of the car and my mom was driving and I told her, I was like, "Ma, don't ever put me in school. Like I don't want to go to school. Don't ever put me in school." And here I am. Not only did I go to kindergarten, like now I'm in
Elementary,
10th
middle, and now
grade.
high school.
Yeah, but also I also went to preschool, and that was like the worst one because that's where I always cried the most. And so all that, like here I am, like what a bitch.
Here she is yelling at you for raising your voice.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, don't sigh too loud.
Yeah, I know. I should really keep it down. I just gotta be quiet.
ASMR.
Yeah, ASMR. I don't want to be too loud.
Yeah. I just realized that this has pretty much been our podcast so far. Well, we have what we were planning to do after.
I never thought about my childhood as much as I am right now. I remember in my house, like I was always I've been the pussiest kid forever. Like I've always been a pussy. I was, like in my room, I had like a shit ton of stuffed animals, like stuffed animals everywhere. That was like the shit was stuffed animals. Because back then there wasn't
stuffed
all
animals
these.
are cool. They're so
There wasn't
cool.
all
I like
these
stuffed animals.
Xboxes and shit.
Stuffed
It was
animals are
like
cool.
stuffed animals are your friends. Okay, you make friends with them. But I would be too afraid to play with them in my room alone because one time, I swear to God, to this day, I believe one of them winked at me, and I know
you
which
just
one it
didn't
was.
wink at it?
No, I know which one it was, and I think I still have it. It was a blue M&M stuffed animal, like the guy from like the one that's got like eyes and arms and legs, and he like talks and stuff. Yeah. And I had a blue M&M stuffed animal, and I swear to God, he winked at me. I don't know if I still have it. I might not.
Is he still winking?
I don't think he's winked yet. I think he only did it when I was a kid. Because now that I'm older, I could like when I was a kid, I couldn't do shit. He's like, "What are you gonna do? Fucking tell on me? Nah, bitch, I'm a stuffed animal. I'll kick the shit out of you." But now I'm older.
Yeah, you're gonna touch you.
Yeah, now I'm older, so now he can't do
now
that.
You're gonna touch him.
Yeah, I'll touch him now. So the roles have switched. The tables have turned.
The turns have tabled. Yeah.
Oh my God, Shane, that's remarkably close to the
He
stuff.
looks stoned, my guy.
Mine was exactly like that, except I'll put it on screen. But the eyes like came out, like the eyes were plastic, and they were like actually like I don't know how to describe it, but that's almost exactly what it looked like. Yeah.
I used to be the biggest pussy in elementary too. I got punched in elementary. It wasn't fun.
Did you punch him?
Yeah. What happened? No, because I just said
Was
I was
it
a
a
pussy
shirt?
back then. No, wait. He might have changed now, but
Shit, man.
so what happened was kickball. We were playing kickball.
Oh my gosh.
A note. I started the kickball trend in elementary. All right. People say I didn't. I did. Fuck you. All right. Haters gonna hate, but I did.
I remember you always tried to get me to play kickball, but I was like, no, I don't like kickball. I don't want to play kickball. And you always tried to get me to play kickball.
Yeah. Now here we are, across the country from each other.
And I still hate kickball. I don't like sports. Sports suck.
Yeah, now I hate sports.
Yeah.
But so what was happening was we were on the team kicking, so I guess offense or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, it was about to be his turn. He was like 2 back, and I was right behind him, right? And this fucking drug addict kid cuts everyone. And they're like, hey, what the hell? Like, you can't cut. This is elementary. Like, cutting's a sin in elementary.
I remember that.
Right? And then he just turns around and it's like just punches my friend in the gut. I'm like, what are you doing? What the hell? That's not right. And then he just turns to me and punches me in the gut. And then everyone gets the sign like, oh, this kid, he's on some shit. All right, you don't want to mess with him. Right?
I remember.
So everyone backed up, and then the recess aide came over, and I'm just laying on the ground bawling out like he punched me, and he never came back.
Dude, the most bullshit thing in elementary school, speaking of lines and cutting, was when you went to the water fountain and got a line and they did the 1, 2, 3, save some for me. So like
Oh, I hated that.
when you started drinking, they went 1, 2, 3, save some for me, and then you had to leave. And it's like when you come in from recess and you're a kid, you've been fucking running around like nuts, like you're a crackhead because you're a kid, and
You're
you are
thirsty.
like dying of hydration, and that water from the water fountain touches your
It's
lips.
godly.
And drinking from a water fountain is not like drinking from a water bottle. When you're drinking from a water fountain, you get
It's
like
an endless supply.
it's like maybe a milliliter of
You
water.
don't
You have to
see-
suck it up. You
It
can't
is
just
never
pour it in
gonna
your
end.
mouth.
Yeah.
Like you have to slowly suck it out of the air. So it's the worst method of gathering water. And so they would give you those 3 seconds, and you had to leave. And you're like, I'm gonna die of hydration. I'm dehydration. I'm just gonna die. This is it. This is the end. And it was so bullshit. It was so annoying. I hated it.
I remember
Yeah.
also like the coolest kids in like elementary were the kids who cussed, and then like it progressed through middle school. It's like okay, whatever. And now it's
I
high school.
remember.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, except now they're doing drugs.
I
Yeah.
remember Blake and one of our other friends teaching me cuss words in second grade. Like, no lie, we were sitting at like our table,
What?
and it was second grade, which was like the teacher that I absolutely hated. Because in second grade, we had the worst, fattest, most bitch teacher ever. But
Dryer.
she was so fat, she had these hip problems, so she had to get
She had to
hip
get a
replacement.
bionic hip. I remember
Yeah,
she was
yeah,
out for
and
like a
she was-
semester.
She was out of school for months.
commission.
So we had a sub for months, but it was the same sub. So for like half of the year, but in the middle, we had one substitute, and it was always the same substitute, and she was amazing. So like it was so great when she was gone, and we had this substitute teacher that we had every day. It was
Well-
amazing. Fuck that fat bitch. She had a allergy to ketchup.
Well, that's my mom. Well, but here's the thing, right? We had a little end of the year party. The substitute gave us all pizza, right? You remember? And she gave us like one
Damn,
slice
she
of a
had
personal
money.
pan pizza, right? And I'm like, what is this? Do we get more? And then she sent me out of the classroom. She
I
threatened to
remember-
take away
I
my
remember
pizza.
I remember that.
Yeah, you agree.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean I was free? It's one slice of a personal pan pizza. I might as well be eating a fucking toenail.
To agree. Not thankful. No.
Not thankful. Hell no, I
Dude.
wasn't thankful.
You know the shit in elementary school was pencil grips. Those little rubber
Oh
tubes that you slid on the end of your
It was-
pencil.
It was pencil grips and Japanese erasers.
Yes,
two.
bro.
Oh,
God.
I remember my desk in 4th grade, right? I would pretend like I had so many Japanese erasers, right? Where I could like make like a little fake room out of Japanese erasers. So what I do was I push all my books back into the back of the desk, and I'd set in the Japanese erasers. So it'd be like I'd just be playing in the middle of class with my Japanese erasers, and it was so cool. I had like a little turtle. I had an Xbox controller. Oh, it was great. I think I still have the turtle.
I remember in like when I started getting a little bit older, like 4th and 5th grade, when kids started getting like cell phones, like those,
now I remember what you're talking about with the
like
Japanese
the
erasers.
shitty first iPhones, like the iPhone 3, because it was like
Nokia.
iPod Touch, and then iPhone 3. Like it didn't start with an iPhone 1 because the iPod was already around. So when people like first started getting cell phones and stuff, teachers would be like, "Don't put them in your desk because desks are made of metal and it'll attract the magnetic parts in your phone and it'll break your phone." And I'm
I
like,
don't think you understand how magnets work.
"You're retarded. That's
I mean-
not true. That's
you
not
know
how
how
phones work."
magnets work, but your phone isn't a magnet, and the desk ain't a magnet.
Yeah, that was totally false.
That's
Phones
just
don't work
metal
like that.
touching metal. Feel me?
And that's death metal.
And yes,
No,
Shane,
that's heavy
I'll
metal.
put that picture in. It's the picture. It's like erasers that can come apart, and then you can put them together.
That ain't death metal. That's heavy metal.
Shane,
That's
that's
pretty
a
heavy.
picture of a pencil grip, but I have no idea. That's not the kind of pencil grip that I had. We had like
Okay,
little
yeah,
rubber
I
ones.
don't really remember the pencil
Bro,
grips that get well because I just couldn't hold
people
a
fucking
pencil
stole
right,
my
so
pencil grips.
they like gave me special ones that so then I could get my grip well.
And you still write like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, my
They
writing's
tried to
shit.
save me at a young age.
My writing's always been shit.
Bro, okay, Shane can't even read his own handwriting. It's so bad.
I have to use context clues.
You do. You do.
I remember.
Context clues.
I remember in at like my old house. It was like my first house, but it wasn't really my first house because I was like a baby when I was born in like a different house. But it was the first house I remember. So when I was real little, we had this house, and it had 2 stories. It was a 2-story house. Well, actually, it had a basement. I don't.
So
does a basement?
I remember. It was yes. There was a basement.
Does that count? But does a basement count as a story? Like when you're talking about houses, I don't know if that counts.
I'm counting it.
Okay, but it had 2 stories in a basement, and on the top, like you'd go up the stairs, then it would curve to the right and go like back the other direction and go up all the way, and you're on the 2nd story. Then there's like a banister that goes around because it has to block the floor, so you just walk off the stairs, like just fall off the top story all the way down to the 2nd or the 1st floor and die. You know, like
that's what I
banister. Did. And I had a cat. This cat is still alive. She's 17 years old as fuck for a cat. I don't know how. She's older than me. It's weird having a cat that's older than you, especially when you're
21 years old.
But my cat, her name's Shadow, and she would go up on the banister, and she would like lay there, like that was her favorite spot. She would lay on the banister and sleep because cats like have a favorite spot and they just sleep all the time. That's all they do. So I'd lay there
and just push her off.
No. And I would always think, like, I was always so worried. I was like, Mom, she's gonna fall. What if she falls? Like, she's gonna fall and die. Like, she could just, if she goes off one side, she'll hit the floor. But if she goes off the other side, she's going all the way down to the 1st story. Like, she's gonna fall and die. And my mom's like, she's fine. She's a cat. She knows what she's doing. And now I know that, like, it wasn't that high. Like, if she fell, she'd be fine. But when you're a kid, you think it's high.
Bro, my sister used to climb up on the roof. When she was like 2 or 3 years old.
You have the worst parents ever.
And a lot of kids climbed on roofs. My dad climbed on roofs.
My dad was like working on the roof or something like that. Yeah, like a ladder, and she would just climb up the ladder. She would get on the roof, and then she would just hang up there with my dad for hours.
Don't mind me just hanging off, the gutters. Don't worry about it.
I had a basement, and it was an
unfinished basement.
Yeah,
I remember.
So it was just like concrete, and it wasn't
concrete without any like I forget what it's called,
carpet or anything. It wasn't. People know in the walls. If you don't just fucking Google it, I don't know. So we had an unfinished basement, and it was part of it was storage. Part of it was the dog area because we had a large backyard with a fence, and so my dad made a little like pen inside the basement, but the pen connected to the door to go outside where there was a doggy door, so they could go in the garage where they would sleep, and they could go out in the yard. And then the rest of it was like a play area. There was like a swing in the basement. Like my dad put up a swing. I had a bouncy castle in the basement, and I had one of those like plastic houses. Yeah, Shane, that's what an unfinished basement looks like compared to one with like carpet and stuff. So
yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you don't know what an unfinished basement looks like,
I don't. If you live in Vegas like me, there's no basement.
I mean, if you've never had a basement,
but even then, like you can still picture it. I've never had a basement, but I've been in basements.
Yeah.
That sounds weird.
So I had one of those like plastic kid houses that's like barely large enough to fit one kid, but like you think it's like amazing. You're like, this is my house, and I own this house. I'm an adult,
and
or whatever.
I don't pay rent.
So when I got like a little bit older and was like a little bit bigger, I would blow up the bouncy castle in the basement, and I would put the plastic kid house next to it. I would climb on the roof of the kid house and jump off into the bouncy castle. It was the coolest shit, and I was like, bro, this is totally dangerous, and I love it.
And I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention like how I showed Blake a video. Like I was gonna make the joke about my sister climbing up on the roof, and like how good her grip was, right? So she wouldn't fall. But like
Turns out she fell, and she's still in the hospital this day.
I showed Blake a video during child development of two babies trying to hang on to.
Bro! Oh my shit!
What?
Okay. Okay. Let me tell the story from my point of view.
I was going to let you know.
So, let this be noted. Shane is in his late night Shane state, where everything he says does not make sense.
This was the first day of school back.
Second day. No, this was second.
No, it was first.
No.
Fuck, I can't tell how you're learning.
Second day.
Fuck you.
Alright? You don't remember.
No,
you were on.
It was Tuesday.
Well, yeah, Monday was your fucked up fake school day.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Anyway, right? We have some free time because we're finished with our work. So I can't remember how we got on the topic of babies. And he was just like, yeah, babies have really strong grips. I'm like, what? No, they're babies. I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, I'll show you. Right? So he pulls out his iPad, pulls up the video, and he just shows it to me. And what is happening is, it looks like these scientists are in a big circle, and there's two twins, right? And there's just a stick. And they have the twins grab onto the stick, and they start pulling the stick up and down, up and down, up and down. So the babies are just bouncing up and down, up and down, right? Here's the thing. The babies were naked. So there's just baby dicks flying everywhere, right? And then one baby falls off, right? One baby falls off. The second one doesn't give a shit. He is hanging on for dear life, right? So he's just not giving up. And then there's just a group of scientists just all taking notes like, yeah.
Wait, what science laboratory
perspective,
is this?
okay.
What is the study? What are they trying to study?
I don't know. The thing is, as the video is playing for a minute, he's like, shit, this isn't the video I thought it was. So he clicked on a different video. Oh.
No, like, I thought it was going to show something else for some reason, but, like, I'm pretty sure I said that isn't the video that I watched. So I watched a video, and it was like a Trinity video of like a dude who had like, it's a black dude, right? And so he got huge muscles, right? He's a dad, and then he has a baby. Hold on to his muscle, right? For like, no, not his muscle, but like his forearm for like I don't know, a minute and a half. Somehow that baby like does that, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I should do one Google search. It was probably like 2 years ago. It might still be probably, you know? And then I click on the first video I see, and then I start watching that with Blake. And then as soon as the first video drops, which is like 5 seconds in, if that, the crowd just, like, there's a crowd of people. And you just hear, oh.
Like, I couldn't hear the audio. Wait, he could.
And then,
I'm glad
when the baby was like going like for 10 seconds, they clapped, and then they clapped loud at 20 seconds. Then when it fell, it was like, oh, it's like, Jesus.
You saying the kid holding on to his farm reminded me of a story. Like, we would go to the pool all the time because we had like a community pool where like the neighborhood maintained this pool, and if you lived there, you had a key card to get into the pool. Yeah, and we went there like all the time. Like that was the thing. Like, my dad was like, let's go to the pool because what we're doing, like, it's summer, it's pool time. We're always in the pool all the time because it's so much fun. And my dad would he would put his arms out, and I would grab onto his arm, and then he'd spin around in a circle. So I'm like in the pool, just flying around in a circle. And then he would like throw me in the pool and stuff. And there was one time when I was like learning how to swim, and I went to the deep end, and I had a pool noodle, and I would put the pool noodle in the pool. Then I had to jump in and like doggy paddle to the pool noodle and grab on so I didn't drown. And that was like I was trying to learn to swim. Noodle. And my dad was there. My dad was there, like reading his book, like in one of the chairs, like just sunbathing, reading his book, watching me like try to swim. Then there was one time when I was swimming and I like tried to reach for the pool noodle, but I just like I couldn't get it. So every time I tried to get it, I would push it farther and farther away with like the current of the water, and I just started drowning. So my dad would like jump in and save me. He's like, "Oh man, you made me get my shirt wet."
See, here's the
not Wayne's shirt.
Here's the black version of that. He spins you around, puts you or throws you in the pool, then you come back up for air, and he's gone.
No, dude, there was one time I was a stupid ass kid, all right? And there was this one time,
you were.
most kids are stupid, like just because they're kids and don't have that much knowledge, but I just thought that I could just make stuff up as I went. So I
You
went to
did.
jump in the pool, but I would like plug my nose and close my eyes when I jumped in the pool because it was like, it's like chlorine and stuff. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to get that shit in me. So
What?
I went to do a cannonball, and
Yes,
my
there's
dad
chlorine in pools.
was
Oh,
in
I
the
thought you
pool.
said chlamydia.
What?
No.
If there was chlamydia in pools, I was like, wait, what? Because I was reading something.
Wait a minute. That's how
and
I
then
got.
I just go back. I'm like, wait a second.
No, I was gonna
This isn't where it's going. Okay.
I was gonna do a cannonball in the pool, and my dad was in the pool so he could like catch me and save me from drowning because I'm like a stupid kid. And so I was running, and instead of jumping and like plugging my nose and closing my eyes and
No.
cannonball, I decided that the best course of action was to plug my nose,
Go
close
down
my
my
eyes,
pants.
then start running and jump.
Oh no.
So
Oh no.
Did you?
my eyes are closed, my nose is plugged, and I just start running across the concrete in my swim trunks, gonna go do a cannonball in the pool. I jump and I slam into the concrete and bust my knees open.
Yep. Sounds like you.
Because I jumped way too soon because I couldn't see because my fucking eyes were closed because I was retarded. And I slammed into the ground, blood everywhere. So my dad like put me in the stroller and he starts like running me home because I'm like bleeding all over and I'm gonna die.
Wheeling his bloody kid home.
Yeah.
It's a bloody
And-
corpse by that point.
And then some lady like runs out, like as we're leaving the pool, she runs out and she's like, "Oh, you forgot your floaty." And I was like,
I don't give a fuck about the floaty. I'm bleeding out.
that's what my dad was doing. My dad was like, "Oh, we don't need it," and he's like trying to go, and then she gives it to me, and I was like yelling at him. I was like, "How are you gonna let her keep my floaty? I need my floaty." And he's like, "You are bleeding out all over the concrete."
He was like, "You dumbass kid, you're bleeding out. What do you mean?"
I don't feel nothing.
It was fucking weird, bro.
I'll buy you a new floaty.
I was a weird kid. I was just not very bright.
Not much has changed.
Yeah, not really.
I mean,
Yeah, we all stayed the same.
my pool story is just like me changing like my hair because I was in the pool so much one summer that my hair changed to yellow.
Ginger.
That's
how you became
I would
ginger.
be in the pool so much that I would get really tan, and my friend Will, his mom, would call me Brown Bear all the time just because I was like fucking
racist.
I'm super white, but I would just get so tan, you'd just think I'm just not white. Like, I don't know what race I would look like, but I was just like tan as fuck.
Filipino.
Tan.
So Mexican?
Wait, isn't Tanner high right now?
Yes,
yeah, Tanner
Did we
took
discuss
prescription
that?
medication.
I thought so, but I thought it was just like a joke.
No. Tanner
It's not.
is sick, and so he took very strong prescription medication.
Yeah, 2-week disease.
Which we don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't. It wasn't his prescription medication.
I mean, this is the time to get sick. Literally, all the rich kids want some exotic place, and now they're back. And it's like, well,
I'm sick
we had this disease, right? And now we're gonna bring it back to the school, and then a bunch of other kids are gonna get it. So like, that's why I haven't felt good like the last few days. But like, still,
we have malaria.
I always hate missing school. Like, I hate school, but I hate missing school because it's always worse when you come back. Like, most kids, like, try to get out of school. Like, they'll fake being sick to get out of school. No. I want to go to school.
Tanner doesn't
because
fake it. He just like, I gotta finish this episode, Ma.
Yeah. But me, I never wanted to miss school because when I knew when I came back, it'd be worse. I'd have to catch up. I wouldn't have the lesson. I wouldn't know what I'm doing. I had more homework and all that shit. So I remember I had scarlet fever one time, and the doctor,
and you
the doctor,
you turned ginger.
Yeah, dude,
that's
no, different kind of scar.
No, I would hang myself by that point.
Oh please, the doctor wouldn't let me leave. Hello, kill me first.
I went to the doctor because my hands just got all these bumps, like covered in bumps. Like I just like puffed the fuck up. Like it was weird. And so I went to the doctor, and he came in. He smacked some gloves on. He was like, put his gloves on, right?
He just
and then he was like,
The sound effect you did is it makes me think like he's licking his fingers, ready to like insert them somewhere.
It's smacking on some rubber gloves, and you're like like when you put rubber gloves on.
No.
He did that, and he was
okay. Continue.
He was all like, "All right, let me see your hands." Put my hand out. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's scarlet fever." And he's like, "Yeah, you can't go to school. That is very contagious."
Contagious. Yeah.
He's like, "I'll write you a note." And I was like, "Okay." And then I went,
I'll write you a note. Take this into school.
No.
He was like, "Yeah, I shouldn't be here, but I
went to school the next day." Yeah.
Takes out all the
badass
stuff.
Yeah,
a
week later, there was no one at my school. It was weird.
I'm always amazed by doctors because you go to like I don't know. My experience is urgent care because I go to urgent care all the time because I'm just getting fucking weird diseases all the time. So you go to urgent care and you fill out this, like you give like the nurse or whatever all your information, all your symptoms. How long
I have a story.
What's this? What's that? They take your blood pressure, all this, put like stick things in your mouth, take your weight, all this stuff, and it takes like hours. You finally get into the doctor's room and you have to wait for the doctor to come in. He comes in and he goes, "All right,
yeah,
breathe.
You got syphilis.
Yep, yeah, breathe. All right, this is your disease." Like every time they're like, "That's it." Like instantly, 2 seconds.
Well, keep in mind that they've gone like minimum 8 years for school.
Yeah, but
so
it's just
amazing
one
breathing pattern. Somehow they just recognize it.
It's all of that, like waiting, all of that, everything you do, all of the telling the nurse, all this, taking all this information, and the doctor comes in like, when I had scarlet fever, bumps on my hand, he goes, looks at him, yep, you got scarlet fever. One time I had bronchitis, puts a stethoscope on my back.
You still have bronchitis.
He says, breathe in, breathe out, you got bronchitis, here's your medicine. Like, it's amazing how they just do it just like that, just off of nothing. They just boom,
have you guys got vaccinated, like, in your life?
In my life? Yes, I've got vaccinated.
No, but, like, do you get regularly vaccinated?
Then don't say no.
Yes, I do.
I don't get flu shots.
I'm
scared to get flu shots.
There was one time when I had to get a shot in school because normally it's like, oh, it's time for vaccines. You go to, I don't know, the Walgreens or wherever you go.
Oh, okay.
Wherever it is.
Alleyway behind Big DD's.
No, because like CVS and stuff, it's like free. They'll give it to you for free flu shots and all that stuff. And usually that's where you go. But there was this one time. It was the year going into. It was sixth grade. Okay, and you had to get all the kids had to get something called a Tdap shot. It stands for tetanus, and I don't know what it was. Tdap because it was
tetanus and HIV.
And it was 3 different vaccinations in one shot. And so we had to do it in school, which was the first time I've ever gotten a shot in school anywhere out of a doctor's office. So they would call
to a veterinarian.
By classes or whatever.
That's not right. That's not right.
We got called down by like class or whatever to go to the office, and there was a line, and there was a lady. She was like a nurse or a doctor. I don't know what she was, but there was a line, and you would go sit in the chair, and she would give you your shot, and then you go up and go. And there was like a line of people, and it kind of sucked because you had to get a shot in front of everyone, and if you were one of those kids that was like a pussy and afraid of needles, I wasn't I don't. No one likes needles. I don't like needles, but I've never had a problem. I'm just like, just do it quickly, whatever.
Oh no, it's not next year, but 2 years, senior year, you have to get like 2 different shots, I think.
I'll make it. I'm a big boy. I'll survive. But this was in 6th grade, right? And so I went in. I'm in line waiting. All these kids are getting their shots. Most of them handle well. Every once in a while, one of them freaks out. But I sit down, and I always look the other way because I don't freak out with needles, but watching it go in grosses me the fuck out. Like I want to vomit.
Part when it goes in, bro.
Watching it slide into my skin, it's horrible. I can't. So I just look the other direction, and it's fine. Like I don't like make a big deal.
It takes them so long to find my veins. It's crazy.
So she takes the rubbing alcohol and the cotton swab, and she rubs the little spot in my arm. Then she pinches it, and then she's like, and then she's like, done. And I was like, oh, you're done. Like that was fast as fuck. I was like, that's the best shot I've ever gotten. I didn't feel that at all.
No, I'm done applying the sterilization.
No. I was like, that was amazing. I wish every doctor could do it as good as you. And then
let's do it again.
I was like, okay, nice. So I stood up and started walking back to class. And the vein, what the fuck? No, they don't go for a vein. So I was walking back to class, and you go out of the office outside and then walk back to like my building, whatever building I was going to. So I started walking and I was like, oh, I'm a little lightheaded. And I was like, weird. And I was like, my legs started getting a little shaky. I was like, I guess I was nervous. I thought it's weird because my legs get like a little weak when I'm nervous. And I was like, damn, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So I'm walking to class and I'm like walking through the door and I am hot and I am like instantly wet, clammy, and sweating. I am like, oh God, what's happening to me? And I was going to band and I go to the like back of the band room, go to my locker to like get my instrument and stuff. And my vision started going away. And I was like, I was so terrified. I didn't tell anyone. Like, I never told anyone what was going on because I didn't know what was going on.
That was a mistake.
I almost passed out from this shot. It was 3 different shots in one shot. And I just got up, was walking to class. And by the time I got to class, I was almost fucking passed out. Like, I almost just passed out in the middle of school. Just unconscious because of this shot. And it was the weirdest thing. It was scary. There's like 3 times in my life that I've almost passed out. And
can we verify she was a, licensed person?
I mean, our bodies, like, when we get stuff, always, like, reacts differently. Like, no body probably reacts the same to everything. There's no
And I've always been, like, so skinny you mistake me for anorexic. So 3 shots in my, like, 40-pound body when I'm in 6th grade. Not really. I'm exaggerating.
You were anorexic.
No, I was not. So don't make people lie. Think. So 3 times I almost passed out, and they were all at school. The other, like, I know, I'm really pushing the limit here on this time, but I was.
Who gives a fuck?
I was
School causes cancer.
I was in. It was either 7th or 8th grade. I think it was 8th grade, but it was middle school, and I was in science, and we went out to the baseball field. And we were hitting baseballs. I don't remember what this science.
And you were like, sports, no.
But we were hitting baseballs, right? And there was like 3 or 4 baseball tees lined up with baseballs, and kids would like go up like 4 at a time, and they'd grab a bat and they'd hit these balls. And it was
sounds painful.
It is Vegas. It's summer. It's hot. Like it's over 100 degrees. Like baseballs.
You're in the desert.
It's like it's over 100 degrees. It's hot. Me, I'm wearing black pants. I'm wearing a black shirt, like the genius I am. It is hot, and I am like.
Then you strip, and then all the ladies come at you.
I'm dying, right? So
no, actually, all the boys come at me.
Oh no!
So I was already getting ready to pass out, but then it gets even better because they're hitting baseballs, like clink, 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 and then you hear a really loud clink, and then there's a bunch of commotion. Hit your skull. There's a bunch of commotion, and everyone's like looking the other direction. So I look over there, and this girl accidentally hit, one kid wasn't watching where he was going, and this girl accidentally nailed this kid in the back of the head with a metal baseball bat.
Nice.
And I swear to God, a stream of blood squirted, not dripped, squirted outward out of the back of his skull.
Probably. He is not alive. He is not okay.
The most horrifying thing I've ever seen. I just look and he gets knocked up against the fence and he's like all out of it. Like obviously he just got hit in the head. No, he's fine. He's fine. He got hit in the head. Like he's all dizzy and he doesn't know what's going on. He's like concussed and blood just squirting, like getting distance out of the back of his head. And then it hits you. And I'm like, oh my God.
I need attention.
And my science teacher, he was totally chill. He used to be an EMT. Like he's totally chill. He's like, it's fine, everyone. Like just don't freak out. Everyone's like starting because there's a commotion going on because this kid's squirting blood out of the back of his head. He's like, everyone needs to calm down. He's gonna make sure this class of kids doesn't just go like turn into the purge or anything.
Start taking selfies with the
He's like, everyone calm down, and he had like a student. He had a student take him to the nurse so that we could carry on. Like he's like, the show must go on. Like class has to go on. So he had a student take him to the nurse, and the teacher just stayed outside with us. And I feel so bad for that girl that had to hold her hand on the back of this guy's head, take him all the way to the nurse. Like that must have been so disgusting for her. I was like, damn, rip. And
did he have an STD?
I was like, No. And like the combination of like
I know.
me having
No.
heat stroke and then just witnessing this horrific event, I almost blacked out then too. I was walking, and
Pussy.
that time I did tell my friend, like I was going up the stairs, my vision was like pretty much zero for a few seconds. It got real sketchy. I was like, this is it. I'm about to hit the concrete right now. And I told my friend, I was like, I'm about to pass out. She was like, all right, let's go inside, get some water. And I've
like,
almost
all right,
passed out 3 times now in my life, and all of them are at school. I never did, though. Never did.
I've had dreams of passing out, and then like I wake up immediately after like I hit the ground. Like here's what
How do you
happens,
know the
right?
difference?
Like I'm walking, right, and then I feel sensations, and then right before I'm about to hit the ground, I have an out of body experience. It's the third person at this point, and then bang, and then I wake up. So it's
how do you know the difference between
like
passing out and sleeping if you're asleep?
You have weird ass dreams. Can I point this out?
0.5 seconds to 1 second, basically. That's like how that was the difference from first person, third person, first person. And it's like between those little seconds, it's crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
Hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. In the new year, hopefully all of our views will be getting up now. Maybe not, probably not. But yeah,
No,
see
I'll make
ya.
sure.